your investments overseas. And because of India, our retail business and tourism is doing very well. So as a grateful citizen of my country, Singapore, and my Prime Minister, I'm happy to be here. So we serve increasingly, Consulus as a company, we serve very exciting markets. We are opening up in Myanmar in January. Sri Lanka is where we started. I'm also happy to be here with my colleague, first from India, Mr. Sudhir Reddy. So we are hoping that things will happen. The country is very exciting and everyone wants to be here. So do we. I also happy and grateful. Thank you for inviting me. So I think I have to do a bit of my non-profit work before I talk about what we do in terms of Consulus. We are, for the Design Business Chamber, we are a happy bunch. 60% Singaporean design companies and 40% foreign design firms. We have 170 corporate members. Our combined revenue is 400 billion Singapore dollars. We operate in almost 110 nations in the world. So that's exciting. So if you are going to set up a design company, I see a lot of young people here. If you want to set up something in Singapore, talk to me. But I just want to give you a caveat. We are recruiting members. So I also told Rukriti that we are thinking of hopefully we can set up Design Business Chamber India. Because if you look at our branding, we are trying to build design. We are trying to combine businesses who believe in design and designers who believe that design is not just packaging, design is strategy together. So we are talking to someone in China, we're speaking to someone, and hopefully we can do something here in India. And the other thing that you will want to know is that if you are a young designer, you're a young professional, you're thinking of working in Singapore, yes, the fees are not that expensive. We will also want to join us. Design professionals, young designers. These are some of the winning works of our members. Many of our members are winning international awards. You've heard of Red Dot, the New York Awards. So we sweep every single year. The design companies based in Singapore win over 500 international design awards collectively. So that's where it's very exciting. We're very glad that Singapore is becoming a humble platform for your companies and the companies around the world. So this is the part I have to do because, just to let you know, this is the last year I'm serving as president. I've served 4 years already. Next year I'm handing over to an architect. My previous predecessor was an industrial designer from Delhi. He married someone from Singapore, so he became Singaporean. So, we have a lot of things. Huh? So let me go back to Consulus. Before I begin, I'm just going to tell you the cake story. 10 years ago, one of our first projects, very excited, young people. And you know, young people here in this room, you should always feel excited and passionate about life. Don't give that up. Don't let the bureaucracy of life remove the passion and your dream. Please don't. Yeah? So I always insist that I want to imagine that it's still the first day of work, and I still do. Yeah? So what happened is we were working with this confectionery company, and my partner was a city banker, and myself, a designer, we were very excited. You know, we looked at the client's cakes, something like this. This is not the original one. It's horrible. Because there were so many designs, the customers didn't know what to pick, and the sales went down. So we got a wonderful cake designer, fantastic photography, and we are so excited. You know, I couldn't sleep well the day before because finally the designs were born, and we were going to show it to the staff of the company. And these are the people who make, you know, put the decoration, you know, make the cakes. You know, there's a whole line of them, 20 of them. So we set up the whole conference room, very excited, as if we are, you know, showing our new, you know, bride, you know, you get married, this kind of thing. Then they came and looked. Silence. And then we were wondering, what's going on? We said, what do you think? Silence. Well, you know, Singaporeans are generally quite shy. It's not like here. You guys get really crazy. I've been to your weddings before. 1 week of wedding. We do it for one night, we can't take it. You do it for 1 week. So, you know, so we you know, I was asking the boss, what's going on? No answer. So a week later, the client called up and said that, you know, Lawrence, we love the cake designs. We love it. We think it's going to change the market, but we are not going to do it. Have you ever heard that kind of things before? It's a great idea, it's going to make more money, and we're not going to do it. That was a moment of truth for us. That was a moment of truth that design and packaging and branding alone is not enough. We made a terrible mistake. The terrible mistake was we forgot about the people and the process that was needed to make the idea work. So the problem was every single change to a cake design meant that these people who don't sit down, we are complicating their lives, even though the design was beautiful. And because they didn't look at beautiful cakes, they were thinking about the work. So when they looked at all those beautiful designs, they went like, oh my God, if we said yes, our lives will be more horrible, and we don't get paid extra money. You know? So that was the moment of truth. And that learning point was, innovation is an easy buzzword. Design is an attractive word, but the process is extremely difficult. That was the moment of truth. And you know this word, think out the box, is the most horrible phrase you can ever hear in your life. If your boss always asks you to think out the box, that means he doesn't know what the box looks like. Because it turns out, everyone has a different version of a box. And I always love to ask the CEOs, and by the way, I'm showing you the same presentation slides we show the CEOs all the time. So you get a sense of where the problem is. And you know, they always say, and I said, Mr. Tan, you know, innovation is important. He said, Lawrence, I believe in innovation. I always tell people to think out the box. You know, and I said, so what's the box to you? Well, you know the box cannot be described. The box is something that you feel. And that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. And this is most of the time we're dealing with this issue. And anyway, just to let you know, the experiences I'm sharing here are only Asian companies. We only work with Asian companies between the turnover of 20 million US dollars to 500 million. In some cases, odd cases, MNCs will get us to do specific projects. Those are the billion-dollar companies. But these are all Asian companies. We don't have a lot in India. We have a few. We have a lot in Southeast Asia, China, and all these places. We have only done a few projects here in Pune. We dealt with the property developer once, and that was really interesting. You know, so, but anyway, this just to let you know the context of where we're coming from. So, dear friends, innovation is important. I have done so many surveys, so many interviews. Everyone will agree to the following statement. Do you believe that innovation is important? Yes. Do you believe that customer service is important? Yes. Do you believe that teamwork is important? Yes. All those three keywords, it's very hard to do. It's very hard to do. It's very hard to achieve collaboration. It's very hard to achieve innovation. It's easy to say those words. Everyone agrees. No one will ever. You know, sometimes I take this trick. You know? When people disagree with an idea, I say, but then, are you saying you're not going to be innovative? And then people will quickly agree. No, yeah, no, we're not saying we're not innovative, you know. You can try that trick, yeah? Especially those of you coming into middle management. Your boss will always agree something because you want to look good. Vanity is the best way to move mountains. So, the problem is, as we started out in the company, we realized that branding, packaging, design alone is nice, but it's not enough. What was really the problem? The problem is, can you imagine that ideas are like a very precious seed? It's a precious plant, you know. And when it starts, it's this very fragile thing, like how Jordan Ive described it. Steve Jobs understands that ideas are very fragile. So it's like this. So in order for innovation to thrive, you need a conducive environment. And let's go back to our agricultural roots. That's because agriculture has transformed the whole of Asia. We are still the rice basin of the world. Yeah? So what happens in most companies? The truth is, most companies, the soil is poisonous. The soil is poisonous to the point that they do not have a process to nurture, develop, and profit from ideas. That is why, by and large, Asian companies are good at buying innovation, but very bad in nurturing innovation. That is our struggle, dear friends. But as an Asian, to Asian brothers and sisters here, I can be a bit straightforward. Our friends have to be a bit diplomatic from the West. But I have to be straightforward so that you understand this is the crux of our problem. Very problematic. So the key is not the idea. Everyone agrees that innovation is important, like I said. You know, Singapore recently, as an economy, we are a first world economy, but you compare us to Switzerland, it's very interesting. Our money is made because we are good managers. Switzerland's money, they are great because they are good creators. So, you know, the government recently said that Singapore is going to be more and more innovative. And you know what we do? The government does best. We'll give you more money if you increase productivity. So the government says productivity is innovation, but it's rubbish. Productivity is not innovation. Scalability, explosive growth, ideas is innovation. But you know why the government doesn't say that? Because the government of Singapore knows that it's very difficult to make Singapore companies innovative. It's better to make them productive. We learn a lot of keywords. If you come to Singapore and think of Singapore very often, we have a lot of keywords. So the thing is, the fundamental truth is that you may have an agreement on purpose. You may have 2 board members, 3 board members in the same boardroom who agrees with the purpose and vision of the company. And I tell you, vision statements are a curse. Are really a curse, you know? Everyone likes grand vision statements. We are going to change the world. We are going to make life better. But when it comes to the execution, it is really, really a pain in the neck. You know? So this thing, dear friends, is our biggest problem. Organizational model. This is the biggest struggle. Everyone agrees on innovation. Everyone agrees on purpose. But this part, very, very difficult to do. So organization model is almost the only proof that innovation exists. In fact, you can do your own experiment. When a company starts launching many new products, start launching a lot of advertising campaigns, that means agencies, and some of us are here, you get a lot of this business, that means they're getting confused. You can test it all the time across the industries. And when companies start to think better and start to be extremely calibrated in terms of their innovation, you can also tell there's a lot of clarity in the voices. But when they try to, what you call, do a Texan style, shoot left and right, bang, 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 you know, that's where it gets a little bit complicated. So, we are quite blessed as a company, and we are really quite fortunate that when we started out, because of all these failures that branding, design, packaging alone is not enough. And so we begin to learn that, look, the thing is, how do we put together these 3 things? Business, design, and technology. Right? And here's the thing, India is well positioned to do that. And that's something that you must pay attention to. And the young people here, I want to ask you, you must be very careful to think about your first job. In the next 10 years, if you're not positioned to understand this thing, your entire job scope will be changed and redesigned. Because this world that we live in is a beautiful world, but it's no longer a production world. We have too many products that people don't need. When we have too few things that people actually do need. So this is the world that we live in. It's not about more products. It's not about more ideas. It's about how to make them work. This is the world that we live in. So as a company, what we do is that we use organizational branding as an excuse, because we realized 9 years ago, if we told people we are going to try to help you build innovation, all Asian companies said, we are innovative. You know? So organization branding as an excuse, well, we get to study the stats, the data, we go in, we look at how they converse, where they spend the money, where they spend the time, and then we redesign those business models. And one of the big problems we had at the start 9 years ago was how to get management consultants